Continue. Yep.
Why don't we start with introductions? How about shall we go alphabetical order? How about we start with Abby, because you start with the A.
Oh, hi, I'm Abby Updegraff. I live in Mililani, and I want Mr. Biden and Ms. Harris to win the elections this year.
Okay, and Andrea.
Hi, I'm Andrea. I'm helping out Lynn and Lorna, getting our outreach going to North Carolina, and I live in Ainahaina.
Okay, Anna. Oh, sorry, Anna. Anna Maeda.
She said she's watching her two grandsons.
Oh, okay, okay.
She's kidding.
How about Bram?
She must be in San Francisco. I think she's in San Francisco.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry, I didn't read. How about Bram?
Why am I not? I don't know. This reminds me of a commercial. Oh, there you are.
Hi, Bram. Hey. Hi, Bram.
Hi there.
Hey, good to see you.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
You just couldn't get your picture on. Oops.
Where are you, Bram? Where are you now?
I am right now in Marin County, up from the desert, and be here for a couple more weeks. And then end of September, we'll head back to the desert and try to keep the temperatures down a bit.
Yeah. Welcome.
Yeah,
Well, glad to be here.
good you could come. Beppy Shapiro. You're mute.
Hi, I'm Beppy Shapiro. I live in Hula. Although I've often spent a lot of time in Portland, Oregon. But I'm from Honolulu, and now I'm just living in Hauula. And I'm very motivated to influence not only the presidential, but especially the senatorial election.
Okay.
Welcome, Beppy.
Beppy.
David.
Okay, Megan, Lorna, can you hear me now?
I can.
Okay,
Hi, Bob.
if you'll notice, my voice sounds like a teen going through puberty. All of a sudden started cracking. And an Irishman who can't talk, come on, give me a break. Hello? I could die first, Anyway, I thought it was, you know me, Lorna, 50 some years, and I can't shut up. I'll be talking 3 days after I'm dead, but I don't know with this voice. So anyway, I tuned in to find out about the texting part. I am volunteering with Lake County, Ohio, Democratic offices a couple of times a week. And hoping this voice comes back. I never worth a damn. Now I can't even talk worth a damn.
Well,
Poor
welcome, Bob. Save your voice.
Okay, David.
You're muted. You're muted, David.
I am not muted now. I'm David Strand. Lorna and I have enjoyed campaigning all around this country, knocking on doors, and are somewhat frustrated that we can't be there in person. But I will say that I think the most favorite place of all that I've campaigned is the western part of North Carolina. And it's great that we are involved there because it's a place where we can make a hell of a lot of difference on 3 levels. Joe Biden can carry the state, Cal Cunningham can be the new Democratic senator, and Moe Davis can replace the most right-wing of right-wing Republicans, who is now Trump's chief of staff. So this is great that we're doing this.
Joel. Okay.
I live in the Alawai area, kind of, and actually only been in Hawaii for a little over a year, but I was interested in helping out a little bit, but I'm still not sure exactly how much I can do.
Oh, good that you could make it. At least can find out more. Okay, Larry Smith. Oh, Larry, you're muted.
Oh, there's more people.
Larry,
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 I
you're
can't-
muted.
Oh, wait.
Yeah,
I'm
there you-
having, okay,
There.
are we there?
yeah.
Yeah. So I'm Larry Smith. I'm having a great time calling into Western North Carolina. The people are, as a rule, really nice. They're filled with aloha. They just don't know that it's aloha that they have. And I think we have a great opportunity we have a great candidate. And it's a great opportunity for us to do something really good for North Carolina. And in the meantime, in the process, get Biden elected, get those electoral votes.
Yay.
Larry Barron. Larry?
Hello.
Who?
Hi there.
Hi.
Hello.
Can you introduce yourself?
Oh gosh, I'm born and raised in Hawaii. I lived on the East Coast for a while. I'm interested in learning how to help Mo. I really appreciate Senator Schatz connecting us. And thanks so much, Lynn, for all your work. Thanks, everybody.
Oh, thank you. Lorna? Oh, well, Lorna, why don't you go first?
Louis.
I'm Louis Dolinsky, and I'm from Waynesboro, Georgia, and I am living in Berkeley, California, and I'm doing whatever I can. And I'm actually involved with 3 groups now, including this one. So you guys are competing for me.
But we're so lucky because Louis is a great volunteer. Just like Larry is super and Andrea is like super too. Lorna?
I've just been so impressed and happy with this group of volunteers in this BlueWave effort that's so focused on a particular campaign and serving that campaign so that it can work. And so many times what people are doing around the country, which is great, but it's calling sort of people that they don't know, people, lists that are over this wide area. But this project is so targeted in one particular congressional district that should be flipped and can now be flipped. And the fact that this group has done such a good job in being gutsy enough to call Republicans and talk to them about why it is that they need to vote for Moe Davis, and it's working. And over the couple of months that this team of folks have been working, we've actually seen the poll numbers switching towards Mo. And my gosh, from a district that was deep red that went to sort of red, and now it's a hot district that can be flipped. And along with it, taking it with it are the Senate seats for Cal Cunningham, and also the presidency in North Carolina for Joe Biden. So I think that what you guys are doing, what this team is doing, is really amazing. And thank you. It's a terrific thing that you're doing. Hard, challenging, but you're sticking with it, and the results are remarkable. So mahalo.
Okay, so I'm Lynn Otagura, and I'm just helping to organize. Really lucky that Andrea's really become an integral part of the Moe Davis campaign. And what Lorna says about them flipping, and I'm going to share this email that I just got from Mo recently, because this was a traditionally red district. They redistricted, so there was some hope that we could flip it. But I mean, it's always been an uphill race. One of the latest polls was 40 Mo, 42% his opponent, Madison Cawthorn. But if you look at this, and I'm going to try to share this. Okay. Can you see this?
Yeah,
Can you
Yes.
see it? Okay, so this is an email that I got from that. So if you sign up for the campaign, the good thing is then you'll be in the loop and they'll send you all this stuff and you can get it and you don't have to wait, to go through someone else. But so apparently, Crystal Ball, now they're talking about a shift in Moe's favor.
You know, I could not find that. I found the crystal ball, but I found no evidence of a major shift in Moe's favor.
I don't know. This is what Mo said. I'm sorry, I didn't look at her stuff. But I think that the sense is that maybe we are having a shift and there is a possibility of having a shift.
I saw it mentioned on Larry Sabato's thing. It talked about this district, and it had moved from, this was about maybe a week or 2 weeks ago, it moved from Republican to lean Republican, which means it's competitive. And before they didn't think it was competitive.
Right,
And
and we
what
moved
Mo
into the
has said,
battleground part. Yeah, go. I'm sorry, Andrew has been really clear.
Yeah, what Mo has said, what they're finding is as they introduce people to Mo, as people get to know Mo, they move to him. And so that's why it's so important, for the phone banking and the texting, getting out there, connecting with people, getting Mo in front of them. And we saw this Saturday.
What did you see on Saturday? What did you see?
I had
the debate.
two specific, well, Saturday, I was curious to see what effect the debate had. And I don't know that it had much of an effect at that point. But what I ran into was two conversations with individuals who said they were discouraged with politics. They didn't think they were going to vote. What was the point? And I said, well, I understand your feeling, but this election is too important for us to sit out. And please go to Mo's website, find out about him. He's a good person. He's got integrity, decency, experience, and he genuinely wants to do something to help everybody do better. And it was interesting as we talked you got the sense they were listening and they were going to look, and maybe we got a couple more people to vote instead of sitting out and vote the way I hope they vote. Lynn.
I was just commenting that. So now you see why Andrea's so good at phone banking.
We have a good candidate. It makes it easy.
Yeah, but because Larry and Andrea were so good that the campaign tried to scoop them. And so Andrea now is running the Saturday phone banking sessions. And so maybe.
And Larry is their star caller, by the way.
Yeah.
Heard that this week. Number one.
So we are so lucky to have them as resources too. But Andrea, did you want to share more about, and anyone who watched the campaign or who has a sense of what's happening, if you want to share and your ideas and the conversation of what is occurring.
Are we through with the introductions? Everybody's been introduced?
Yes, we have.
Oh, okay. All right. There's no Zach?
I don't see a
Or
Zach.
Walter? No. All right. All right.
You got a different call?
I'm just curious as to how many people watched the debate and what you thought. I am still concerned about the sexual thing attacks, and the business about how tall he is did seem silly. Then on the other side, Madison's sort of throwing out all of this Republican playbook stuff. Does it work? I mean, you'll be beholden to Nancy Pelosi. A lot of the blow up, that kind of stuff. The kind of stuff they always do. And
it works with it works with a narrow group now.
Yeah.
Part of the reason Mo made the point about the discrepancy where he says he's 6'3" versus 6 is because his point is if you let the little lies go, then they do better with the big lies.
Yeah.
So that's why he's calling Cawthorn on everything. And the sexual harassment apparently is real.
Yes.
There have been a number of people.
Have you guys gone on the internet and Googled it? Because there's like a long article about it.
Yeah.
The
I've
sexual harassment.
There's several.
seen articles. Yeah.
Yeah, but had a conversation with Moe yesterday, and he was talking about this, and he's commented that there are topics that are sensitive, and they have discussions about whether or not to bring them up. And he says what he runs into is half the people tell him no, half say yes.
Yeah.
So he's, just moving forward. I thought he did better the second debate than the first, and mentioned it to him yesterday, and he admitted, he said, when people attack his record, he gets upset.
Yeah, he did.
And so he let himself get upset the first night. The second night, he was much, much stronger, much more balanced, and made several very good points. And it was interesting to see the shift, because the second night, you could see Cawthorn getting upset, and it was fascinating, because when he got upset, when Moe made it a point, Cawthorn would come back with those Republican talking points and labels.
Yeah.
And he kept calling Moe a liberal lawyer.
That is ridiculous.
Well,
That is a really stupid thing to keep
but
saying.
it plays with some.
Yeah.
It does. It does.
The only liberal lawyer I know is David.
But he's not running. But
He
yeah,
could.
the Cawthorn is mostly staying on the Republican talking points, and then sometimes misrepresenting Moe's record on Guantanamo and things like that. So it is good to review his the things that we send out, to go on his website and to look at his positions. Things that I've seen that about being more effective in talking with people is going to the higher value, how, the things that most people will agree on, taking care of everybody, being safe, being fair, having Moe work for the community versus work for himself, right? Because Moe has really not much to gain by becoming a congressman. He's doing it to do something better for his community and for the people in the community, versus someone who's never had a job, and this is going to be his job if he gets it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Hey, Larry.
So Larry, yeah.
you got to play it.
What, Larry?
Ma'am,
Wait, what'd you say?
I said, I think as we are talking to individuals, one is a pretty large percentage of the individuals that are undecided. They'll tell you you're undecided. And so you get into a discussion of what Moe would like to do for the district, which is internet connections and healthcare and a decent paying job for their kids. And say, are there other concerns you have? And they go, no, that's my concerns. And you go on from there. The hardcore Republicans are get excited about Nancy Pelosi. The other thing that I've been starting to do is Republican convergence. So when you have somebody that says, well, I'm a Republican, they're not just absolutely negative about it. You say, you might want to look at Moe, and you might want to look at the thing he wants to do, and you internet, healthcare, jobs, and then they, I'm going to look him up. I'm going to find more about him. So I think one of the things is it's still a pretty large age of people that are undecided, and you give them basic things Moe wants to do. And react very positively to that. So I think this is converting, Andrea, is converting the undecided.
Right.
And once they hear
Right. And actually, Larry, I don't know if you were in on that meeting with Moe last week. And one of the things that he made a point of was, don't assume when you're talking to these people, just because they say they're Republican, doesn't necessarily mean they won't vote for Moe. And he gave us a story of his experience running into that. And that changed the way I started to talk to people when they come up and say, oh, I'm a Republican. Then I do what Larry does, which is say, well, that's fine, but please look at Moe's positions. Please consider him. I think you'll find him an interesting person. And Moe himself has said that he's working because he believes everyone deserves an opportunity to live up to their full potential, whatever that potential is. It doesn't mean giveaways, but it means making sure that they have decent health care, they have access to broadband, they have good education options. It's just putting the opportunities there so people can achieve their individual best.
Well, I had a guy who said he was going to vote for all Republicans except for the House because he knows Madison.
Good.
Yeah, that's the interesting. You run into some of these people who know Cawthorn, and I don't know, I'm not sure what he's done, but they really are upset about him.
Yeah.
And
But we've got a good candidate.
Yeah.
And he's so young that, I mean, it's not like he's had a lot of years to do things that are upsetting.
Yeah, it's strange, and I've tried to I've asked a couple of people on the campaign, what is it? Because I get such strong feelings from people at time, and I guess it's a whole bunch of different things.
Yes.
Lynn.
Being from a small town in Tennessee, he's the rich kid. He's the privileged rich kid in town that always had the fancy car. He didn't even go to school. He homeschooled. And so the people who had to live around him and see how he lived compared to how they lived, it doesn't go over well. It's a small town Southern thing. But I think that's...
Well, yeah, but part of it has to do with the way he got rich. That doesn't sit well. So.
How did he get rich?
Yeah.
By suing his best friend. He was they were in a horrific car accident that genuinely was the friend's fault. But it's one of these complicated things because the friend was driving, Cawthorn was asleep with his feet on the dashboard. Accident happened. The friend and two bystanders rescued Cawthorn from the burning vehicle, got him out. And the friend insisted when the emergency vehicles wanted to take them to separate hospitals, the friend insisted he wanted to stay with Madison. He was concerned about him. But then they got back, and when Madison's family contacted the insurance company, $3 million was the max that they could get, and there was a disagreement. The insurance company sent checks for totaling $3 million to the family. They were rejected. The family decided to sue. They wanted $30 million. It's some sort of, David, you could probably figure out whatever it is. There's some sort of clause you can go in and get additional money. They initially sued the friend's father, who owned an RV shop. There was an agreement between the friend's father and Cawthorn's family that initially they were going to pay the $30 million, and then it was no, they would waive their right to sue the insurance company, and Cawthorn could sue the insurance company, and in return, Cawthorn wouldn't go after them for the $30 million. Well, Cawthorn went after the insurance company. That suit got thrown out. Cawthorn then sued a construction company that was involved in the site where the accident occurred, got $3 million from them, and then turned around and is now suing his best friend's family for the $30 million again. So that's certainly motivation for people to not like him.
God.
Very tacky.
It's complicated, but there's other stuff.
But you're saying it's still not settled?
Not the last 30 million. He's got 6 million. Now he's waiting for the other, he wants the other 30 million still.
Gosh.
Yeah, so he
All
lacks,
all the lawyers' fault.
he lacks
Whatever.
experience and he lacks the kind of background. And if you listen to the debates, you might find it tends to be like platitudes. He doesn't have much on, I'm not sure the depth of his understanding of the issues. So the debates are basically Moe's trying to say his positions, and Madison is calling him an AOC, Nancy Pelosi Democrat.
And Madison has a binder that
Yes.
he uses to come up with his answers to questions.
Although in the second debate, I did see that there was a little bit more policy stuff, but still, I'm not sure his level of understanding because he's not very well schooled, I feel, and I'm not sure how much he truly understands all of the policy and the implications, but he
He does
surely
not.
does have the Republican talking points.
There was something that I thought that Mo should have jumped on. I'm not sure which debate it was, whether it was the second or the first, but it might have been the first actually. Madison said, Mo made the point that Madison's events had people without masks. And so Madison said, you know, and the question was whether you should make that compulsory. And Madison said, well, you know, if you're an older person or you've got underlying conditions, you may feel that you need to wear a mask. But if you're not, you know, you may not feel you need to, and it should be up to the individual. Well, as you all know, it's not the person with the underlying condition that needs to wear the mask. It's the person standing near them. In other words, it's something you do for other people, not for yourself. And that you should have called him on that because he obviously didn't know.
Well, there
I
are a lot of
commented on
there are
that.
a lot of things, and in our conversation with Mo yesterday, he admitted he said he's getting a lot of feedback after the fact, and he said, you know, when you're there, it's all coming to you, and you're dealing with it all at once. You know, it's easy to be on the outside watching.
Yeah, I know,
So,
I know.
but no,
Yeah.
he's getting lots of feedback. But the nice thing was he did better the second night.
Yeah,
But
and he also
didn't
did
even
better.
wonder.
He also did better with his head. You know, not moving his head back and forth so much, which is important actually.
yeah, because Mo, someone said he was looking at people in the audience because there still are people in the room, and rather than look straight at the camera, he was looking at the audience.
Okay. And that's
Right,
Yeah.
and that's something he has to get used to. But
Yeah.
there's another debate this Wednesday, and then there's one at the end of the month.
And
So-
where is it this Wednesday? Is it the same place? With the
No,
same-
it's Southwest Community College, I think.
Yeah, I sent out the link today. So there's a link for a live feed. So what I sent out today was first there is the 2 videos, and then underneath is the Wednesday debate. So you should be able to log into it if you can do it. And then if not, you can see if they have a recording. And then we're kind of throwing around the idea of maybe we could watch it together later and then like have like a watch party or something.
Well, there is a watch party that's by some North Carolina. I think it's the one I'm attached to. That I've done them. I've done theirs.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or you can go to Moe's Facebook page, and I guess a group of them were watching from there. Although as far as I saw, that took me to the Blue Ridge site.
Well, he had one also separately on his page. So, but I went to the Blue Ridge because I wanted to see what everyone was saying. Because the Moe's people tended to be just the Moe's comments. Yeah, I wanted to kind of see what the Madison people were saying or other people were saying. So it was kind of interesting to see what comes up and what points, or if people are really listening. Because sometimes the sense I got is they either don't understand or they're not really listening because they're so focused on one point of view. So I guess that will be our job, you know, to help to open people's minds and help them to realize the benefit that will come to them and to their community by voting for Moe and coming out for Moe. And the reason why we were put together this meeting kind of fast and sort of like on short notice is because ballots were dropped on September 4th. And so they're starting to mail out ballots to North Carolina voters who asked for absentee voting ballots. So people are actually can vote starting now as soon as they get their ballots. So the sooner that we can help Mo at an earlier point of time, the better. And that is why I think there's such a push for phone banking. And because too, with the texting, even though I really like to text, but the texting is still a newish program. And we actually went through, 2 groups of textings. And now they're still reworking it and they're going to do it from Wednesday. But if you can at all do any phone banking, that's a really good thing to do at this time. But I don't know.
Are the votes counted when they're received, or do they have to wait any period of time?
I'm not sure in North Carolina. Usually everything is held until election day. Lorna, David, do you know?
Yeah, I don't know either.
Well, it just seems we're trying to encourage everybody to early vote, but if all the ballots are just held in one place until election day, I mean, I understand it, but does that make a lot of sense?
Yes, we're in a pandemic, and part of the reason for doing mail-in votes and voting early is so that you don't have a huge group of people going in on election day and voting. And the other thing with Trump going around telling his people to vote twice or vote by mail and then go in on election day, he's trying to deliberately clog the vote. So vote early, vote by mail to avoid any possibility of getting tangled up in long lines.
Or another alternative is they said that, and I don't know when these sites open up, you could vote and drop off your ballot. The concern too is, right, you want to do it early so that your vote actually can be counted because of all the problems with the post office. There's a real concern about things actually getting delivered on time. So those are all kind of issues. Although, I don't know, how much is the campaign talking about that at this point? Not so much, although the question comes up, right?
The ballots are, if people ask.
The ballots are held at the post office? I mean,
no, they'll go to the county registrar probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's my concern. Yeah.
And they're held there.
Larry, I don't know what happens in North Carolina, but Larry and I can share what we did in Hawaii, which is what happens is it comes to wherever it's going to be mailed to, and then there's a tracking system so that they know who has voted. And then the ballots are separated from the actual outer envelope, and they can be inputted into the machines early without them pressing the button to actually do the count. So a lot of the work can get done prior to actually election day, but then the final decisions are given on election day, but a lot of the work can actually get done earlier. So in a state as large as North Carolina, it would be smart to get their ballots in sooner so that that preliminary work can get done.
Here's my concern about the absentee voting. It seems that an awful lot of votes get thrown out because the person, didn't sign their name right, or they or something, whatever it was that was required.
I don't know what's going to happen in North Carolina, but when we did it here, what happens is that there are, if something goes wrong, the state of Hawaii or the counties would mail it back to you and say you didn't do it right.
Wow,
another ballot.
That's great. That's great. I bet that doesn't happen in Georgia.
But that assumes you have enough time to do that.
And so that's why the early voting is so important. I don't know what other states are doing, but in Hawaii, we had that system.
And that's why it's important that if we have a chance, we tell people, okay, you apply for this ballot, make sure that you vote carefully, don't double vote, and make sure you sign your envelope. And I think in North Carolina, do you have to have one witness sign it
One witness.
on the outside to mail it back, or was that just to apply for the ballot?
I think it's to apply. So when
Okay.
you apply for the absentee ballot, there's one witness.
Right, but you still need to sign the envelope.
Yeah.
And I think what happens is we're West Coast people, we're used to having a huge percentage of mail ballots. And there, I think historically only 4 or 5% of the ballots cast were mail. So when we talk about how important it is to get the absentee ballot process going and encourage it, it's a new culture for them back there. They're just not used to that. But I have read something though that the number of absentee ballots requested already in North Carolina has like gone up 10 times where it used to be.
Right.
Yeah.
But remember, in Hawaii this year, for the first time, everyone got mailed a ballot. So look at the error rate there. If we didn't have a big spike, I wouldn't get all that tangled up about other places having big spikes. But it is important to make sure we try to help people know how to vote correctly.
What was our error rate? Do you know?
Don't have any idea?
No,
Beppy wants to say something, I think. She has her hand up.
Oh, sorry, Beppy. Yes.
First, I wanted to just say that I don't think the error rate has been released yet. But secondly, what I wanted to do, people are doing phone banking. It would be really good to have the deadlines for requesting an absentee ballot, the deadlines for returning your absentee ballot, the deadlines for early voting. People who are making those phone calls, if we could get that from the campaign or for someone in the Office of Elections in North Carolina, I guess.
Good
That
idea.
really, really good, especially as we get close now to election, and some of those deadlines are coming right up.
Right. The campaign has posted links to help voters on their website. Honestly, when we're phone banking, we rarely have a lot of time to have long conversations with the people we're reaching. Every now and then we'll get someone, and then we can talk to them about how are you voting? Have you done this? Remember to do that. Usually what we're doing is, number one, identifying if they've heard of Moe, trying to give them a little bit of information, and asking them if Moe can count on their vote in November. And if they say yes, that they'll be supporting Moe, then we try to get their contact information to connect them with the campaign. If they have specific questions, then we try to help them. Otherwise, we rarely have long conversations, except for Larry.
only if I'm doing a flip. If I'm doing a flip, I'll talk. But I think, I actually talked to one person Saturday who said that he got his ballot and had voted and mailed it back in.
God.
And he also gave money to Moe. So at that point I said, okay, you've done enough. But I think one of the things that we're now in the process, I think we need to start with our discussions is when you talk to people and they say they're from Moe, and then you say, do you have a plan to vote? And that's where you get, for example, I talked to a lady who was 102, and she said, I'm going to vote for Moe. And I said, well, how are you going to get to the polling place? And I don't know. And so I think we're at the point in the process now where we begin to ask people, do they have a plan to get to the polls?
Yeah, but remember, we're following the campaign's lead. So we can have these discussions and go there, but as long as we're meeting what they're looking for right now, they're moving towards the GOTV end of things, but not quite there yet.
Right, because they have a script for the phone bank and also for the texting. And so when you phone bank, you'll be asked to follow the script. You can modify it, but it sort of at least tells you what is the content of your communication.
Did you want to show that to them?
Do you want to go on to the phone bank? Or I was wondering, or shall we go to the website first? Did anyone have any other questions about what's going on right now?
Well,
If-
we don't have texting at this point, right? Because they haven't gotten it together.
Not
Yeah.
until Thursday at the earliest.
Yeah, well, texting, we already went through, they already went through 2 lists. And
Yeah, we
so,
went through about 43,000
yeah, super
texts.
long. And so
And then
there,
that sounds impressive, but that's going out. Coming back is not nearly that high. And so that's where when it comes to phone banking versus texting, you're not that far off. And the phone
Yeah.
banking gives you the chance to talk to people and convince them.
yeah, so texting, they had a certain group that they were targeting, which was something to 40, right?
18 to
18 to 40.
Yeah.
18 to 40 was the younger group. And then you would send out hundreds of texts at a time in batches. And then when people reply, then you send them more information about Moe. So that's how that works. But why don't I take you to the Moe? I'm going to share my screen. And if you have if you can open up your Chrome or whatever, then you can go to his website as well, because I'd like to show you how to sign up with him. So this is this is his screen. So let me go back first. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me just go back to the regular. So this is when you sign up. This is what when you go to his screen, this is what you'll see. And you see is Moe Davis. It's a really good website for information about Moe. There's the home page where it talks a little bit about him. You can click and read his bio. There's Meet Moe. And it has his CV and talks more about him. Because what Moe did is he got his education in North Carolina, and then he joined the Air Force. And then
Well, he was born and raised in North Carolina, and that's an issue. Cawthorn keeps trying to say that Moe isn't really from the district. Well, yes, he definitely is.
Right. So he grew up in Shelby, North Carolina, and then he went to Appalachian State, I think that's the name. And then he also went to law school in North Carolina. And then he joined the military and ended up in the JAG, I think. And he was a prosecutor at Guantanamo.
When Cawthorn says that he's not from the district, he didn't grow up in it. He grew up one county outside of the district. It's really close. It's not the district, but it's still Western North Carolina. It's one county away from the district. Shelby is not in the district next county.
But also Madison keeps saying that he was defending the people at Guantanamo. He's actually a prosecutor.
Yes, but this was where he was directed by the Bush administration to allow evidence obtained under torture, under the waterboarding, the torture, as admissible evidence in cases. And Moe said no.
Yeah.
Stood up to him.
Right. So he came out as concerned about use of torture. And actually, I read articles where some people were irritated at Moe because he was, when he was prosecuting, he was kind of really into it. And he actually was a very aggressive prosecutor, it sounds like. But later he did have expressed concerns about using torture, also because it's just not very, it's not reliable, right? A lot of time.
Well, it's been found, they have done studies and they've said that evidence obtained under torture is not reliable because someone who's being tortured will probably say just about anything to get the pain to stop.
Right.
And then so he brought up.
But that's all stuff you can read about.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
We have other things going on. And please do visit and read the site, get to know Moe.
Because it will help when you talk with people. Right. Thank you. And so there's a section where you can look at his vision, and it has all of the his positions on many of these items. And then there's endorsements, news. If you go to the events section, if you want to see what he looks like when he talks in person, other than just the debates, he has town halls like every Mondays and Thursdays. So they have things listed, and they're all virtual. So you can go onto Facebook and click the sites. And this is the next debate. Is going to be at Southwestern Community College.
That's
And
that's Eastern time, right?
That's Eastern time.
yeah, so this
Yeah.
is all Eastern time. So ours is always -6 hours.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
he
they
has,
keep making me do math.
I know, sometimes I get a little confused myself. So they have newsletters. And then I want you, if you have your computer, if you can, let's fill this out right now, because the best way to get to know what the campaign is doing and to understand what's going on is to connect directly with the campaign. So if you go to, and I put the link inside the chat box of our Zoom session. So if you go to this page, the top part has the general sign up, but go a little further down so that you're next to his picture in his uniform. And I'm sorry, I have a siren in the background. But here is where you sign up for Moe Davis phone bank and texting sign up. And it asks you to sign up for Slack. Now this is very valuable to be part of, because what they do is you end up getting emails that will connect you to Slack. And on Slack, it's kind of like a message board. For me, it was a new thing. It's a message board that tells you different information from the campaign on the volunteer efforts. So especially if you're on phone bank, but particularly if you do texting, it's really important to be part of Slack, because when you text, then when you can also have Slack open, and they will answer your questions if you have any. So I don't know, would you mind signing up right now? Because then, so it says here, right, the phone banks, they'll have a 30-minute training and answer your questions. So when you sign up for phone banking, they'll get back to you and give you a link to a Zoom session, or either that, or it might be posted on Slack now. I don't know, did they change that, Andrea?
Did they change what?
How they link you up with a phone banking session. Do they always email you back, or are you expected to go on Slack now?
For phone banking, no, you still need to sign up, and then you'll get a confirmation.
Yeah, but I was wondering, after you sign up, will they send you an email with the link?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's good then. That will help.
But Lynn, you're just asking the people who have never signed up to sign up. The people who have signed up.
Actually, even if you have signed up, it turns out you do need to sign up every week to confirm. I haven't been, but it makes me, but now I am, because otherwise, if they change a link, I'm not going to know. And it kind of matters, since I'm leading a phone bank Saturday. Kind of need to know the links.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, but the campaign sometimes changes things, because I think what's happening is everything is evolving, and as we get closer to the election date, it's just going to get crazier. So it becomes ever more important to be connected directly with them. And so signing up with this volunteer form when you're going to do a phone banking session or do texting will really help you with communications and understanding what's going on. So I don't know, if you can open up this page and write your name, your phone number, just put the numbers, don't put the dashes, your email address, and your address and county. I was trying to avoid it, but then I realized I had to put something. So I put Honolulu, Hawaii. I don't know. What do you put, Andrea?
I put my address.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I have no problem. I'm supporting the campaign, so that's fine.
Okay, yeah. And then
We're all getting Slack. We're all getting messages from Slack, aren't we?
yeah, but some people didn't sign up yet.
Okay.
So,
Right.
you
get messages through Slack, but you sign up to phone bank through the Google form.
Yeah.
Huh.
And then this,
And what the campaign then does is they then have, like, I go in every week and I check to see who has signed up for Saturday, so that I have an idea of how many people are supposed to be coming. And what I started doing this last week is I now am going in and calling everyone. I'll be doing a message in Slack to let them know we're doing Hawaiian Saturdays and we'll have a prize and everybody wear aloha attire or tropical attire. And then afterwards, I follow up by email with everyone. And what I'm doing is contacting everyone who signs up for this Saturday, plus anyone who ever volunteered for Saturday in the past, just to encourage them, come back. Because we need, we need you. I mean, last Saturday Saturday before was a good Saturday. This past Saturday, I think we had 6 people. That's
Around
not
there.
a lot of people to be doing calling. And then we got kicked out partway through because they ran they ran through the list. So now they have new lists that they're starting.
but so this shift sign up is all, of course, minus 6 hours Hawaii
Right.
time. And so if you could just sign up, it's sort of also, I try to check to see who's signing up, because also too, if I'm concerned, like if anybody needs any additional support or has any questions.
And
Yeah.
you can always come back to Lynn or me if you have questions, you need help, because we can help you, as well
Yeah,
as
so-
the campaign. But the campaign's also good if you ask questions in the phone banking channel on Slack. They're good about answering them too.
I'm assuming we're going to get a script.
Yes, there is.
Yes. When you go,
I don't want to be making
your
stuff
text-
up about North
yeah, what-
Carolina.
Yeah.
yeah, whether you're texting or calling, there is a script to follow.
Okay, good.
And that's, there's a 3-hour time mapped out for phone banking. So about the first half hour is training.
Mhm.
You then go into calling for about an hour, and then you take a break. Everybody comes back, asks questions or talks about what's going on, go back and finish up calling for another half hour to 45 minutes, depending on how long that break took. Then you come back for the last half hour and do a wrap up. During the phone banking, if you have questions, you ask that in chat.
Okay.
And
Good.
there's someone there, either the host or the individual who's overseeing all the phone banking is there, and we can answer questions that come up and help people. We've also started doing breakout rooms, so if someone has problems, Matt takes you into a breakout room so that you can talk rather than having to go through chat. So there's help during. And it's a lot. It really is a lot of fun. You get some really funny things going on.
So it's
And calling has been really, really pleasant. Texting,
My texting's been
I don't
much
text.
better than my calling.
you didn't get the porn then.
I did get an answer. I don't vote for communists or baby killers.
Oh
But-
no, I got much more colorful ones.
But so the programs are really well supported. So even while you're calling, you're still connected to the Zoom session. So you can always ask a question. And then,
Okay.
no
And when you're
worries, just try your
texting,
best.
when you have texting, you have the texting channel in Slack on which you can answer questions. And there's always usually there are 2 people at least who are on monitoring and answering questions and helping out. And other people who have been texting will sometimes jump in and say, oh yeah, do this. So it's good.
Cool.
There's lots of support.
The
Yeah.
thing is, when you're texting and someone asks you a question or something, whatever, and you need to respond, you don't have to respond that second. You have time to think.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that's a real advantage, I've got to say.
Yes.
Like I
Yeah.
can't text.
But actually, right now, they really need phone bankers. So,
All
so
right.
Yeah, that's
tired.
Like that.
I know.
the big need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a
Maybe-
question.
Oh, yes, Joanne.
Okay, you know, I signed up on Slack either Saturday or Sunday. Whenever that came out, I did it immediately.
Oh,
And I still get this, you know, and I downloaded the app and everything, but I wanted to show you folks because I just did it again. Can you see this? Where it's just thinking and thinking and thinking. And you said we've been getting notes from Slack. I haven't gotten one since I signed on. And I got the confirmation.
Did you sign up as a register or did you register as a volunteer on Moe's site?
Oh, did it say that? Or
Because if
it
you
just say
did not, they don't know who you are. You have to sign up as a volunteer first
on that
because
site,
they have to monitor and keep security on Slack.
Oh, okay.
Make sure they don't have people they don't want coming in.
So do you see?
Oh, now it's now it
on
says
my
welcome
screen,
to Slack.
it's right on the screen. So if you didn't sign up with most people, you can still click on the screen and then make sure that they put you in. Because when they get your information, they also have to hang. If you're texting, they also have to sign you up for this app called Hustle, and then they'll send you that information and set it up once they know that you're volunteering. But let me show you what Slack looks like, because for me, everything's new. So when you get into Slack, it will look like this. It's just like one big message board. And
yeah, it says get started or sign in.
yeah, so maybe that's what you need to do. Maybe you need to click on that thing on his website. Click on this thing, and then maybe that will help you to get.
You said on his site? You mean Moe's site or?
Did you already sign in to Zoom to Slack?
I did immediately when I got that email, and then it said okay, it confirmed who I am. So I went in. And it just would be thinking. But now when I showed you this, you can see it says, get started or sign in. That's the furthest I ever got. Because I have that app.
Okay, sign up as a volunteer on Moe's site so they know who you are and they know where to link you in.
So Joanne, you know right above the form, there's this little link here.
Right above?
Right above, no, on the computer. Can you look at your computer? There's the sign up form, and then there's this link to sign up for as a volunteer. So maybe
you're talking about Moe's
on Moe's website.
Yeah. Okay, I'm good. So I didn't go there, so maybe I'll do that.
Oh, sorry. So maybe that's what you need to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Then, to show you what the Slack Moe's website volunteers website looks like. So on the left side, there's all the things you click, like channels that will take you to certain
that's cool.
like subject areas. So this is the phone bank channel. And then there's, if you're doing texting, this is the texting channel.
Okay.
And
the phone bank.
If you're doing texting and you are, when you're getting ready, even though we're not doing texting until after Wednesday, but if you want to sign up for texting and you want to see what the texting program is like, right under this heading that says texting, there's a pin. And you can look at the pin. And then on the right side, Frank Sarno and Helmi are doing the texting. So Frank put together a PowerPoint on texting, and you can click on that. There's also the sheet on Moe. I'm sorry, every time I go on it. There's also a sheet on Moe that you can click to find out information. I think that's the same one I already sent you though.
Yeah, I got that one. Yeah,
if you go on the PowerPoint and you click on it, then you can see the training PowerPoint that he put together. And so it talks about the hustle.
Yeah.
And
no,
then,
Lynn, I decided, no, I will do the phone bank because it seems like that seems more effective just from today.
So for people who are interested in the texting, that's how you access the information though. And then if you have further information, when you get signed up for Slack, you can always ask questions. So if you look, people are asking about texting assignments, and then the Helmi or someone else will answer it. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing. Okay, so I don't know. Does anyone have any other questions? Any questions about what we need to do? Yes.
When are we going to start the Ohio calls?
We're not doing Ohio calls. We're just doing Moe's campaign. Lorna might be able to. Lorna, you have someone who's doing that, right?
Abby,
Was that the Tim guy? Tim Helper?
Tom Helper. Yeah.
Tom Helper.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just contact Tom, or have you been in touch with Tom?
I've seen his email.
Okay, I'll get you in touch with Tom.
Okay, but I'm happy to help North Carolina. It's a lovely state. I know a few people there.
You can do both. Yeah. And Beppy, I don't have contact information for you other than your email. Could you send me or let me know what your phone is? Because I don't have your phone number. You're muted.
You're muted.
If you just send me an email, Lorna, then I'll put that stuff in the reply.
That's wonderful. Thank you.
Okay, good. Could you CC me too so I can update my
Sure. And
records?
Joel, I don't know if I'm linked to you as well. So could you?
Oh, we emailed.
Huh? Did I email you?
Yeah.
Okay.
You had the phone number wrong though. Maybe,
Okay.
but
I asked him privately for his information, so I got his phone number.
Fine.
And
So we're all good. We're all good. We're
yeah,
all good.
I wanted to ask if you have to, for those time blocks, if you have to like be there at the beginning and stay until the end.
I would, because the beginning is where you get the training and any updates on what's going on.
well, the most important is to be there at the beginning for the training. And you can check in with the person who's running it if you need to leave a little earlier. But,
Yeah, because Lynn's had problems where she's had to jump in and out, and people do that. Sometimes they can't stay the whole time, so they'll check in for the training. Maybe they'll do a little calling or texting, and then they'll step away. And that's nice because the auto dialer that we're using allows you to do that. You can go on break, do something else, and come back, but you can only do it during that time frame.
But also though, they do have a debrief at the end, so that can be kind of nice. Some of the benefits of this phone bank thing is that ability to hear other people who are calling talk about their calls and tell you a little bit more about North Carolina and things like that. So that's one fun. And then also too helps you to be a better phone banker sometimes. Yeah.
Deppie, I've done a lot of phone banking for other candidates, and I never felt obliged to stay till the end of the time. I gave it what I had for time. I mean, after I got the initial training, I gave it what I had for time, and then I just signed out of the auto dialer and left because, you know, we can use whatever time people have. It's better than not having someone do any phone. So if you have a limited time frame, I would go ahead and devote that time to it and then just leave when you're POW.
Also, if you've done this a number of times, you don't really need the training anymore. You can immediately start making phone calls. So I have done that on occasion.
Right. I think, right, the campaign is making adjustments for that.
Uh-huh.
Well, I suggested to Matt that we start, and he's trying to figure out how to do it, see if he can do a breakout room so that everyone comes together at the beginning. We do introductions, and then those who've already called before and are comfortable can start calling right away. We go to a breakout room, and those who are first timers get their training there and get started there, and then they'll rejoin the main group. They're trying to figure out how best to do that. But we really need, I understand the, not staying the whole time. Remember, there's a 3-hour time period mapped out. That's the time period they have for making calls. As I said, the last half hour is usually wrap up, review, heads up on anything else coming up. So it is good to listen to that. If you absolutely can't do it, that's understood. The other thing is we take a break halfway through, and you, even within that 1 hour period you are calling, you can take a break, and we encourage you, if you need to walk away for a minute, get a glass of something to drink, do jumping jacks, hit a wall, whatever, do that, and then come back and call. Well, you know, depending on, we're calling across the district now, and it's mostly people they believe are undecided. So you get quite a mix, and you can get, I mean, Saturday I was getting a series of hang-ups, answering machines, just wasn't getting anywhere. That can get tiring, and if you need to take a break, take a break. Because when you're talking to someone, you want to be as up as possible, as positive as possible, so that that comes through your voice, and that engages people. And that's what we're trying to do, is engage the people so that they'll listen and consider Moe. So stay as long as you can. It's really appreciated if you stay that full time, because we need everyone calling to reach as many people. I think they said yesterday they've reached about 11% of the people they wanted to reach on their list.
Oh.
But in the calling that's been done, like last week, they came up with 30% of the people leaning or strong for Moe, 25% undecided, and then 18 to 20% leaning or strong Republican. So based on what we're seeing, it looks good for Moe, and we want to keep that going. And it's interesting, going to be more interesting to see how things change, or if they change with these debates happening.
And Saturday will be a nice time to join in, because you'll have the other people that we know.
And you might get a prize.
Andrea, did you ever figure out why it is that it's supposedly, I don't know, maybe it's texting, not calling. With the more people who text, the quicker it is, or the more people who are calling, the quicker it is?
Supposedly that's the way it is with calling. Matt said yesterday, before we were calling cell phones, now we're going to be calling landlines. And he said yesterday that he thought calling the landlines was slower, but then he said he only had 3 people calling. So the fewer people you have, the longer it seems to take to connect.
And why would that be?
Oh no.
A large list, lots of numbers to get through. And so you're going to have a lot of, remember, the dialer is going through and it's listening, and if I don't know what it hears, but you're not connecting to every single number.
Right.
So it's sifting through the numbers, and the more numbers you have and the fewer people you have calling, it's just got that many more numbers to go through each time. Except Saturday where we ran in.
I think I'm giving up. I don't think I was meant to know.
I was going to say, you're better not knowing.
Yeah, right.
And because the calling is through an automated dialer, and the texting is through Hustle, it's not your phone number. It'll show a local area code, so that shouldn't be a problem for us.
No.
Yeah.
I use my real phone then.
Yeah, you don't have to use your phone. You can just use your computer.
Well, you can't use your phone. It's an auto dialer. It goes through your computer. As long as you have Chrome, which includes Microsoft Edge, you can call. You can't call on you can't call on an iPad or Safari.
Right.
If you have those,
well, darn.
Calling's done. Sorry about that, Abby.
Oh, so if I have I'm working through my iPad because my laptop is not working. I have to take it to Best Buy. So I want to use my iPad, but I have Chrome on my iPad. Maybe that's why someone told me I couldn't call.
Huh.
So can I? Because I have Chrome.
Well,
that could, I don't know, because Chrome is what's needed, but we've heard it doesn't work on an iPad. So you could try it and see what happens.
Okay.
I'll ask the campaign meanwhile, and if I hear anything more, I'll let Lynn know and she can share it out.
Oh, with iPad.
You can text me. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'll let you know. I'll send an email out with any information I get.
Okay.
But, any other questions or concerns or comments or suggestions?
No.
Okay, then maybe we should just finish. Thank you for coming so much. Really good to have seen you. It's really nice to put a face to a voice or a email address.
For sure.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. We can leave.